The face of whom? The face of him on whom I gazed, I can never forget. Though I cannot describe it. Those piercing eyes seemed to read one's very soul. Power and authority sat on the ample brow, while the deep lines on the forehead and the face implied an age, which the jet black hair and beard flowing down in the indistinguishable luxuriance almost to the waist seemed to belie. No need to ask in whose presence I stood, as I bowed myself before one who is the object of a devotion and love which king might envy and empress sigh for it in vain. A mild, dignified voice bade me be seated, and then continued, Praised be to God that thou hast attained. Thou hast come to see a prisoner and an exile. We desire but the good of the world and the happiness of the nations. Yet they deem us a stirrer up of strife and sedition, worthy of bondage and banishment. That all nations should become one in faith and all men as brothers, that the bond of affection and unity between the sons of men should be strengthened, that diversity of religion should cease and differences of race be annulled. What harm is there in this? Yet so it shall be. These fruitless strifes, these ruinous wars shall pass away, and the most great peace shall come. Do not you in Europe need this also? Is not this that which Christ foretold? Yet do we see your kings and rulers lavishing their treasures more freely on means for the destructions of the human race than on that which would conduce to the happiness of mankind. These strifes and this bloodshed and discord must cease, and all men be as one kindred and one family. Let not a man glory in this that he loves his country. Let him rather glory in this that he loves his kind. Such, so far as I can recall them, were the words which, besides many others, I heard from Baha. Let those who read them consider well with themselves whether such doctrines merit death and bounds, and whether this word is more likely gain or lose by their diffusions. Oh Lord, this was the account of Edward G. Brown when he met Baha'u'llah. Baha'i faith, as I gave you a few lines from it, is really the spirit as the counterpart, is that part of the revolution and the changes of the system that the English people have brought to the planet. So, strikingly, one of the greatest Baha'is probably in the world in rank would be a princess, actually a queen. She's the Queen Mary of Romania. She's the granddaughter of the Queen Victoria, who at the time she was the ruler of Romania. She, by another English teacher, English descent, I should say Martha Root from United States, wonderful, a strange lady. Then she was taught the Baha'i faith all over the planet, this woman, even in China. And she went to Romania and talked to her. And strange enough, very amazing, that Queen Mary of Romania embraced the faith of God. This is what she has said. In regard to the Baha'i faith, Queen Mary stated, the Baha'i teachings brings peace and understanding. It is like a wide embrace gathering together all those who have long searched for words of hope. It accepts all great prophets gone before. It destroys no other creeds, and leaves all doors open, saddened by the continual strife amongst believers of many confessions and varied of their intolerance towards each other. I discovered in the Baha'i teaching the real spirit of Christ, so often denied and misunderstood. Unity instead of strife, hope instead of condemnation, love instead of hate, and a great reassurance for all men. This is the word of Her Highness, Queen Mary of Victoria, in her encounter with the Baha'i faith, which she officially became a Baha'i, and I've written many things regarding that. And amazing, most amazing part of this is a miracle again happened. Very, very amazing, my dear friend. That in 1912, when Abdul-Baha comes to United States of America, because the Ottoman Empire was banishing Abdul-Baha to the Fizan desert somewhere in Libya, as some American, they decided to have a ship to get him out, and he said, no, I can't. I have to stay here. I cannot escape my destiny, whatever it is. But God willing, with the help of English, I don't know who others, the young Turks with the leader of their leader, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, could win the situation. He got rid of these, bad religious figures and everything else, and freed the Baha'i faith. So Abdul-Baha accepted the invitation to come to the United States. But in the United States, a miracle happened. For the first time, a man from another religion going to the holy places, another religion, to speak and invite the people in the church to renounce the church, whatever, come into the Baha'i faith, and they all accepted it. And were fighting over to get him in there. I said to American, this miracle happened in the United States, and this miracle happened not just by Baha'u'llah and the Baha'i faith, but by the Americans themselves too, who are, by the way, 99% of the English descent. How would this happen? Because always the Prophet comes, they get denied, they're bitten, they don't accept it, they kill them, crucify them. Not in the United States. Abdul-Baha goes there and is welcome. One huge miracle happened. We have to see where the history goes, where the evolution goes, what the thing is. This is very much like the religion of the Jesus Christ, that the Jews didn't accept it. Now Iranian, they don't accept Baha'i faith because it's not in their interest. If in a Baha'i faith there is no priest, and there is no room for mullah and ayatollah and their money-making game, they don't accept it. And when Baha'i faith says man and women are equal in the right, none of them, they want to give up, the reign of horror on the women. They don't want to. So therefore Baha'i faith is not accepted there. But not in England, not in Europe, not especially in these 5 countries. Mother England and her children, Canada, United States, New Zealand and Australia. So you have a historical, very, very historical duty, if you can understand it, to get up and do it. You have to study this very well. It's all on the internet. So, and finally, I'm going to say something about the kingdom in England. During all this revolution that started from Renaissance and went on, well, when you do renovate your country and you change the system, you're bound to lose few things. European, they lost many of their kings, whether French or Germany or other places. English people, they kept the kingdom. Corresponding to them are Japanese. They did that too. But that has been a sign of their strength, to have the kingdom. One day in Cambridge, I saw some royal club. When I asked him a few things about the royal club, he explained a few things and this and that. I told him you have to extend your duty and your definitions so all can get included in it, not just Anglo-Saxon race, everyone. By cutting off the kingdom and religion, we cut off the past. We can't go to the past. We cannot appreciate the past. The kingdom is representative of who you were in the past. You see, but they have a very, very unique point. Baha'ullah is amazing again. He says that the way the system is in Londonderry, he says, where there is democracy, parliamentarian system, and kings, that is what God wants, he says. Although democracy is good, he says, more beneficial to people, but God wants the kingdom. Because the king, he says, or the kingdom, I should say, is a sign of God on earth, as the manifestation of the power of God on earth. He recommends us to keep the kingdom. English people, they didn't read about Baha'i faith. Again, this is one other affinity. They actually kept it. So, what is the role of kingdom? Many people say, we don't need kings and queens. What are they doing? What is the function of the kingdom? It has the greatest function of all, if it is defined and understood. Who is the moral authority? Who is the center of pride? Who is giving the characters to people, the hope? It's not a political point of view at all. Country does not run just by politics. Country and countrymen, they need other things. Embodiment of power, of peace, of generosity, of giving. Which Kingdom of England has been very good. But it has to be understood more. The Royal Club, in my humble opinion, they have to redefine, go study all the problems that are in England. Whether it is drug, whether it is thievery, whether all of it, a study to see what it is and how to deal with it as a moral authority. It's not the church, it's you. Come the moral authority and use your stars to show it. You have a brush of the stars. I beg of His Highness, my favorite, Prince William. I like this prince so much that he sets an example of family relationship, a new one, that becomes an example for the rest of the people. Come and talk to them in TV, in books, in anywhere, about other things that's not politics, how to run your family, how to do good with your relationship, console people. All of a sudden appear, Your Highness, right in the middle of the streets and shake hands with people. Go to their houses. Let them have a picture with you. Those who are distressed, those who have lost the meaning of their life, the youth, they would be so pleased to have something like that. It would change their lives permanently. You have a mechanism in England that unfortunately is lacking in the United States, and very weak in Australia and Canada, but it's still a very strong running in England. So the royal kingdom, the royalty part of it, is that authority that deals with the spirit of people, give them hope, counsels them how to get out of problem, come directly to speak on TV or with the prince, how to get rid of crack and cocaine, what these things are, what are the alternative. Energize people, give them a different meaning. And by God, study Baha'i faith. It is your religion. You didn't make it, as the Iranians, they like to accuse us and you, but ironically, it is made for you. You're the #1 country in the world. You, Canada, America, Australia, #1. Definitely #1. To embrace this is the gift of God to you. but it's so much about your race. The equilibrium is gone. Who can save Canada? Well, this starts from the mother. The mother of Canada is England. So is in the States, so is in Australia. The country, the mother country has to act, has to do different things. As I said, politics cannot do these things. Politicians, they cannot be the ruler of the ethical ruler that so dire in England, and it's needed. Who is better than Prince William to represent it? Kate and William, Prince Harry, these youth, these young people, to go and embrace people in England. Let them have a picture with you, listen to them, create a TV program, talk about these things in a most folksy way that you can. You just be loved more. I wish the Royal Club of England, which like to preserve the kingdom, also develop itself in a role of kingdom, more so, more vivid, more elucidating on the subject. The people can definitely see this is the moral authority. As Baha'ullah has put a huge responsibility on the shoulder of king to say that they are the manifestation of the power of God. So you have to animate that power towards the people on behalf of God, just like prophets of God, they reveal the message. And this power is the power of spirituality, the power of ethics, the power of love. And by God, so much positive effect it could have on the youth in England. And by England, of course, I mean Scotland, Ireland, all the United Kingdom. I hope I have not stepped out of my jurisdictions, but I am an elder of God. I've been told directly by Baha'u'llah to render his message in the earth. I'm the guardian. I do the responsibility of guardian, but I'm called an elder in reality. So, in the Baha'i faith, right now, the Universal House of Justice, as I mentioned before, which acts like a pope, like Ayatollah, which is elected by people, by the Baha'is democratically, it comprises of only 9 men. No women is going there. And this has been a situation misunderstood by a lot of people. I have come to find the writings in the Baha'ullah's writing and Shawri Effendi's and Abdul Baha and the authoritative writings to erect a secondary house which is called the Universal House of Guardianship, comprised by 5 women, again elected. One would be the Universal House of Justice enact new laws on behalf of Baha'u'llah. At the Universal House of Guardianship interpret the writing, make it possible for Universal House of Justice to function. Baha'is have misunderstood this. Many of them, they have shunned me for no reason. All I have said is what is in the book. But until such time, you have to understand there's no dissensions in the Baha'i faith. The Universal House of Justice situated in Israel and the National Spiritual Assembly of England, which is in England, is the only authority. No other authority can exist, should exist, will exist, or should be permitted to exist. By election, they are the only people. But are they functioning completely? Not completely, because this last episode of the Baha'i faith, which is the Universal House of Guardianship, was not known. I have brought the writing to say this. If you look on the first and second episode of this series, you would know what authoritative writings permits and allows this to be done. So then we have a great working democratic religion in a way, where there is 2 pairs, just like Labour and Conservatives and Tories. On the Baha'i faith also, there is Universal House of Guardianship and Universal House of justice. They work together. One enacts law, the other one interprets. The second part has been misunderstood. But do not have any dismay about it. As you teach Baha'i faith and you understand it, the issue will be solved and resolved as it goes. But you are the executives. You are the one God has trusted, has told you in many, many ways. He's referred to your system of the parliamentary kingdom. This is his recommendations for the world as a system. He actually prayed to God that the kingdom of England will be sustained forever, because Queen Victoria never denied the message of Baha'u'llah. And she said that if it is the real and the truth, it will engulf the world. For that, she got the prayer and praise of Baha'u'llah. So Baha'i faith might be from Iran, but he's not anything Iranian. Anything. I just came there. This is the system of God. If he wants a religion for England, he cannot bring it in England, because the fire of it will burn everyone. They deny him. He purposely brings it from a long distance, where the heat of it might burn Iranian and the people in the Middle East. But this heat of the sun, of the truth, as it travels to England, it becomes light. The fire turns into light. You see the light of it. It is for you. Baha'i faith is for the Anglo-Saxon race. They have to implement it. It is the soul to their body. Your material system has to have this is its soul. If it gets to it, the planet is saved. May God be with you. And I love you all, dearly, really, and truly.